9 minutes again and there were 15. Shortly the number had risen to 20, but by mid-afternoon there were 26 pumps, 11 foam tenders, 6 hydraulic platforms and 4 special machines. 150 men were there. A seemingly hopeless task as the sides blistered, then glowed red and started to buckle. But at least the firemen did have some luck. There was to be more success in pumping out the 2 nearest threatened tanks. A curtain of sprayed water was drawn between them and Tank 11. The firemen had known what to expect, but they were still thrown into disarray. For most people around the haven, it was an astounding and frightening spectacle. Few oilmen and firefighters in Britain have seen a boilover, but the danger was still all too apparent. A year before, there had been a boilover during a refinery fire in Caracas in Venezuela. At least 160 people died. 40 of them were fire officers, but many more were volunteers or spectators. 60 vehicles, including all the firefighting appliances, were simply annihilated. A wave of oil inundated another tank and flowed into the sea. It almost reached a power station. So at Milford Haven, there was great caution. Only necessary personnel were allowed anywhere near the tanks. Spectators stayed outside the boundaries, and luckily few houses were nearby. Evacuation plans had been drawn up, but were never put into effect. This is the fire service's own record of the second boilover. It's taken from a considerable distance. The flare stack to the right of the column of flame can be clearly seen and puts it all in scale. It's 250 feet high and 350 feet away from Tank 11. This second boilover at 210 was less severe than the first, but there was still extensive damage. Once again, the hose lines either melted or burst open as the water they carried expanded. Fires broke out on the 2 neighbouring tanks as their water curtains had been punctured by the damage to the hoses. The thermal cladding on both tanks caught fire in a number of places, and Tank 609 itself buckled and split open. Vapour inside it caught fire, but it was easily enough extinguished. It was to take 30 minutes to get everything back under control. However, replacing all the damaged equipment and positioning cooling jets was to take the men the rest of the night.